The Emancipation Proclamation became official January 1st, 1863, but it took a full 2.5 years for the news to get to the last state, Texas, June 19th, 1865, hence Juneteenth. This is the day that every man and woman was declared free in our country.
But it was also the emancipation of literacy. You see, little brown girls like Charlotte and women like me were forbidden to read. And if it was found that they could, they were punished severely. There's a saying that's passed down in my family from my great-grandmother. She said they can take anything and everything away from you, but they cannot take your mind.
What Juneteenth means to me essentially is freedom. And when you think of freedom, you think of rights, whether it's personal rights, whether it's rights to property. And it's very important to understand as we, live and breathe today, and some of the rights that we're afforded today, my people were not awarded that, some odd years ago. And Juneteenth was the day that allowed them to be able to live as people, essentially, and have those rights to just be a person in America.
Kind of dreaming the impossible dream of, freedom and equality and equity and justice one day.
When I think about Juneteenth, I think about mamas. Mary Edgerson, my great-great-grandmother. Mama shared stories with us about how she as a girl grew up on a plantation, the very plantation that her parents were slaves on. The significance of that is that Mama's was actually born in 1884. Slavery was abolished in Louisiana in 1864. So Mama's was born 20 years after slavery was abolished, and she was born and grew up as a girl on a plantation. Now, Mama's also used to help her parents pick crops. They were sharecroppers, and sell those crops. And that's how her father was able to earn enough money to move their family to the city of New Orleans.
Now we should look at it as a day to celebrate and make sure that we spread the knowledge of the great African American culture that has created great things for our United States.
I reside in Virginia, but my middle and high school years were spent in Texas. And it has been recognized and really celebrated in Texas for over 40 years.
We spend time together as a family, and we tell stories, and we laugh, and we spend time in remembrance and in gratitude for our ancestors and the sacrifices that they made so that we can be where we are today.
I grew up going to my cousins for a big cookout with all kinds of soul food. We would share stories and memories of loved ones, and we would talk about our history as a family.
My family are real moviegoers, so especially at this time, we enjoy watching movies that highlight the diverse stories and characters within the Black community. We celebrate those stories, we celebrate ourselves, and we look forward to the stories to come.
I am a KinderCare alum, third-generation college graduate that attended an HBCU, and we celebrate Juneteenth all month by celebrating the graduates in our family, from kindergarten on.
Typically, our community has a celebration, and there is a parade, and it's lots of fun to take the kids to. However, this year that's not happening as we're all living in this COVID moment. So we found other ways that we can connect with our community to celebrate Juneteenth. One of those ways is making donations to bail funds, to bail protesters out of jail, and really support those people who are on the front lines, continuing the fight for justice for Black people.
Juneteenth is a day that is celebrated by many Black families for generations. However, it is a day that is often overlooked in our country. Unfortunately, as Black citizens, our cultural history is oftentimes not fully acknowledged in our schools or celebrated by the entire nation.
You can't move forward unless you understand where you come from. And so understanding that there's definitely a privilege in being able to do normal things that we do today, and understanding that this day is not only just important for Black people, but should really be important for those of us in America.
Although American history is painful sometimes, it is history we must begin to appreciate and accept as we chart on a new path to fully living up to the ideals of our great nation.